I hope the sound in here isn't too echoey. I hope that the lighting is good enough for you guys, but either way, I'm going to talk you guys through what I am doing, so hopefully that will help with the tutorial. So what you'll need is just a towel, just so whenever you finish cleaning your makeup brushes, you can just lay it out and lay out all your makeup brushes on the towel, because you don't want to put the towel this way because the water will sink in and all the bristles will come out. So make sure you get a clean towel. If you don't have a clean towel, you can use napkins for that. So then you're going to need a container, and I just use this one. It has two, and you guys see that why I have this one in a second. But you can use any kind of plastic or whatever you have available to you. You're going to need some soap. I've used many different kinds. I've used Dawn, I've used baby shampoo, I've used like face makeup remover, like the Neutrogena one. I've used that before too, and it works just as well. I wouldn't recommend you using regular shampoo, just because that one has a lot more chemicals, like your own shampoo. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but anything like baby shampoo or dishwashing soap would do just fine. So whatever you have available, you use that. And then in the end, we're going to condition our brushes just so they stay nice and soft. You don't have to do this step. I do this every once in a while. I don't do this every single time, but I have washed my brushes twice before, so I am going to do a conditioning on them. So let's go ahead and just get started. So you're just going to want to take your container and add some water to it. You don't want to fill it up all the way. You want to fill it up just a little bit. You don't want too much water in here, and I'll show you why. And then just add a little bit. If you're using Dawn is pretty potent, so don't use a lot of it. Then what you can do is kind of just mix it with your finger to get soapy water. And on the other side, I'm just going to go ahead and add just clean water. I'm not going to add too much into here, just enough kind of to rinse it off. Because in here, I'm actually going to dip my brushes to clean them, and then on this side of the clean water, I'm just going to go ahead and rinse them off, just because I don't want the water running the whole entire time. Conserve, people, conserve. So what you're going to do is dip the brush in soapy water, but you want to make sure that the water never touches really close to where the bristles are, what holds the bristles, because if you do, that will really start to make the bristles come out. So I just dipped it in the soapy water, again, not too close to the band here. And what you're going to do is, over the sink, you're just going to kind of swirl it, kind of like if you were applying makeup to your face, just to really work that soap in there. Work this, you guys can see, swirl this around your hand, and I recommend you do this over a sink, obviously, because all of this happens. So I'm just going to dip it in the clean water to rinse it off. And I'm actually just going to let this sit for a couple minutes. So I'm going to lay this right here with the soap still in it. I'm just going to go ahead and let that sit there for a little bit. Again, dip your brushes, not all the way, kind of midway, and kind of work this just as if you were working your makeup on your face. You see? Just swirl it around. You're really just trying to get rid of all that makeup. You can dip it in the clean water and kind of just make sure you get all the makeup out. Squeeze it to get excess makeup out. Again, you just want to repeat this as many times as you think it'll take to get all the makeup out. I recommend that you clean your brushes at least once a week, like deep cleaning like this, at least once a week. You don't want to ever let your brushes sit like this, because the water will run down in here, like I said earlier, and it'll make your bristles flimsy and they'll start to come out. So you always want to lay them flat. So again, for eye brushes, the ones that I was showing you is mostly face brushes. So for eye brushes, just go ahead and do the same process. Make sure that the water never touches the band up here, and just the same way, rinse it off. Try to get all that makeup out. Yes, at this point we're just going to rinse off all the rest of the soap and makeup off of the brushes. And you can use lukewarm water for this. Doesn't have to be cold, it doesn't have to be hot either. Just want to make sure that you get all the soap out of here. And for this, I do recommend that you do it under a faucet. And you guys see that this one still has a little bit of makeup in there. So you can just go ahead and rewash it. Or I'll show you guys another trick in a second, how you can get the rest of the makeup out. Then you just want to squeeze the rest of the water out. And again, lay them flat on your napkin or paper towel, whatever you decided to use. And then just go ahead and rinse all of them off until the water runs clear, basically. So once you got all your makeup brushes rinsed off, then you just want to add a little bit of conditioner of your choosing to your palm of your hand. And you just want to add a little bit to your brushes. You don't want to add a lot. And just kind of work it into the bristles. You just want to let this sit for a couple minutes. Obviously, depending on the brush, that's how much you want to add to them. Some of them need a little bit more love than others. Go ahead and let this sit for a couple minutes just to make sure that the bristles get nice and soft. So when you let this sit for a couple minutes, you just want to go ahead and repeat the same process. Rinse out all of the conditioner. So now that you've rinsed all the conditioner out and you've gotten most of the water out of your brushes, you're not going to get all of it, obviously, but now that you've done that, now we're going to disinfect your makeup brushes. And I feel like this is the most important part of the whole cleaning your makeup brushes things, because if you use them on somebody else, you want to make sure to do this. And even if you don't, always make sure to disinfect your brushes. You can do this more than once a week. This doesn't damage your brushes whatsoever. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I use to do that. So I bought this at Walmart, and this is 91% alcohol. So this is the highest one that I found, 91%. If you can find something higher than that, great. I just wasn't able to. But this is basically almost hospital grade alcohol, and this is just to help sanitize and kill bacteria and all that kind of stuff. So this is just what I use to disinfect my makeup brushes. So in the same container that we were using earlier, this is why I love this container, it has two little sides. So you just want to add some to one side, and the other side just leave it as is, don't add anything to it. And then you just want to dip your brush in here. Again, try not to dip it all the way up here. I'm going to try to show you guys. So just dip it in there. And then on this side, you're just going to squirt out the excess. And you'll find that if your makeup brushes were still, you know, kind of dirty, still had some makeup in there, it'll come out with the alcohol. So I really like this part for that as well, because it takes out the rest of the makeup out. So again, just dip it in here. And then rinse it, well, you know, press out the alcohol in the other side. You guys see, this one came out a lot cleaner just after doing that, because it still had a little bit of my foundation on it, but after I rinsed it out with the alcohol, completely cleaned it. So you just want to continue this. Like I said, the alcohol is not harmful to your makeup brushes, so you can do this a couple times a week. This last step is completely optional. It's totally up to you if you want to do this or not. But I'm actually going to take some Clorox disinfecting wipes. You can take whatever disinfecting wipes that you actually have. But now I'm actually just going to go ahead and clean the brushes off, just because sometimes you get makeup on there, your hands are dirty, whatever, etc., etc. They fall on the floor, whatever. You just want to clean the brushes off as well. It's up to you if you want to or not. Just dish liquid soap or dishwashing soap or this. Okay.